I welcome you to today's session and today's video. Now, this time around, we have to divert away from what we looked at in the previous video. And I want to inform you that today we are looking at foreshortening under imaginative composition drawing. Now, when you hear that word or that statement, foreshortening, then how you hear it, foreshortening, forward, which comes from front, and then shortening, meaning reducing the length or the size of something. So, when we were to apply or introduce foreshortening in our imaginative compositions, this usually comes when you want to emphasize message in a composition. For example, when we are drawing or dealing with human figures, and somewhere we want to emphasize message or to attract this person who is looking at this composition, we tend to introduce in foreshortening as part of creating emphasis in our work. And we all know that when you're dealing with foreshortening, there is no way how you're going to run away from the perspective as a principle of art. So, in simple terms, when we are foreshortening, for example, I will use an example. There is this person who is lying on the ground, and I want to emphasize this person. I'll bring in foreshortening. And how am I going to do it? I'll ensure that the parts of this person who is on the ground, the front parts of this person who is on the ground, tend to appear slightly bigger than the parts that are behind. For example, if this person is lying on the ground and it's the head and the chest parts that are in front, I'll tend to exaggerate them and make them slightly big. Then, as this person goes behind, I'll try to reduce the size and weight of the parts of this person's figure, and that will bring out foreshortening. So, practically, how is it done? Let me use that very example of the person who is lying on the ground, and simply look at how I come up with my figures, what I start with, and then how I treat the different parts of this one figure that is on the ground. You'll find out that at the end, foreshortening is going to come out, and some of you will say that the figure is in 3D, as you can see. I have this shape as my head. Remember, I told you that when you're dealing with art, most sort of drawings, always ensure that you use shapes. When you're dealing with imaginative drawing, make use of the many lines, make use of these shapes. They will help you, they will guide you on to achieving the other parts. So I have the oval shape that is representing the head, and that's what I'm going to use when developing the head. So I'm dealing with a figure that is lying on the ground, it's a foreign figure, and then with some bit of perspective at the same time with a foreshortening. So I'm going to shorten certain parts, whereas I exaggerate and enlarge some, or I zoom some parts. So as you can see, this is the head. We have this as our hand. Now this head shall have this hand, and the fingers are seen somewhere there. So I have this as part of my palm. Then the thumb is somewhere there. We shall see that this is the hand. It is big. Then when I go to the other side, where there is another hand, I will try to reduce the size because of the change in distance. I have this other hand. Then, in case this hand is from the ground, then raise the bit going up. Still, I told you, make use of shapes. I have that. You see that? This is a shaft. Then the other part of this figure is just down here. So I have this. I have this head. You don't see the details of the face, but I will include them later on. Now, because for today we are dealing with Fore shortening, and I told you with Fore shortening we will exaggerate and make the front big, then the behind small. When you go to this behind part, we shorten a bit. From this head, let me say this is the ear part. From this head to the waist, it is shortened a bit. Then, in case I'm to put a back, for example, bums are somewhere here. This is a man who is on the ground. As you can see, because I told you it is one of creating emphasis, but as you Fore shorten, you ensure that you introduce in you respect the principle of perspective. And with perspective, it is the effect created by the change in distance, where nearby objects appear big and far objects appear small. Simply look at this. The legs tend to reduce in size because of the effect created because of the change in distance. And you're going to find that this leg is far, and when you look at it, you feel like it's far. I've reduced its size simply to bring out the perspective bit. When you look at this hand slightly appears bigger than the leg, whereas the other one appears smaller. Now, it is because of the change in distance, okay? That is the perspective bit. So, I add another leg. That is imaginative drawing. So this time around, I don't have clear features, but when you look at this, I'm simply using shapes to give you the different parts of human figure. You see that? So this is a simple shot from here to here. When you look at this figure, it clearly shows that there is someone who is lying on the ground and maybe is trying to lift up this one palm. Now, put the palm here, then give it fingers. I told you, make use of these lines. I've used lines, then later on, I can develop these lines into real fingers. You see this? I go to this, then I go to this, and then, so I give you a clear view and clear structure of the human being. You see that? Something very simple. Now, when you go to the face, you show us these the different features of the face. For example, now we have the nose, we have the eyebrows where we're going to have the eyes. This side we have another eye. Do you see that? Then you go to the lips, you give us do you see that? Then you give us the down lips or the down lip. So there we have a complete structure. You see that? So you perfect it, then you give us a complete structure of this human head. Inside the ears, you give us all what is needed. So it is as simple as that. Now, supposing this figure is lying on the ground and there is this person who is maybe they were running, it was a race, and there was this person who was chasing. You simply use the stick figures as I told you. There is this person who is running, trying to jump. What do you see that? So here you simply dress up that figure. We have the trouser there. Do you see that? Then we have this hand is putting on the shirt. I'll give it his bump. Do you see that? It's something very simple. From there, after giving it that hand, you see the fingers are there. Then we have this leg to give us the leg that is the other side. This guy is trying to take off. So the other first lines were acting as a skeletal framework. Right now here you have the real figure. You remove the other lines that are guiding you, and then you give us the real shape. You see that? You go to this top in case it has a shirt. You know, when you're running, there is how that shirt tends to go behind as if it's playing. So the shirt is there, showing you the movement and direction this man is taking off. Maybe it was drawn by wind. Then we have the other hand. You can put it there. You see that? Then that is for that side. Then from here you can give us the other parts of this figure, turn it into the real person, human being, as you can see. So it is as simple as that. That is what I can say about the foreshortening and perspective. But you have to measure, or you have to relate, you have to compare the size of this fruit in line with whatever you put in behind. So that is what I can say about this imaginative and the foreshortening. Always make sure that front part is made big and you emphasize it, then the behind part is made small. Then, as part of emphasis and perspective, the first figure is made big and then the other figures are made small. Okay? With that, I want to say that our session, as we just at the beginning of this end, we shall meet next time for the other session. Thank you.